Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva Tvameva vidya dravinam Tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So where are we in our text?
We're in chapter 78 on Oddities, page 343. And the questioner is the sense I am real or unreal.
Questioner, is the sense I am real or unreal? Maharaj, both. It is unreal when we say I am this, I am that. It is real when we mean I am not this nor that.
Okay, let's stop there. This is an important point. So, what is the difference between the jiva, or better language, jiva bhavana, and the self? When awareness strikes the subtle intellect and the mind's attentive faculty is focused outward, in the subtle intellect, we get the feeling of this false self, this jiva bhavana. Now, it is not luminous. It is not sentient. It borrows the sentience of the self. It's like if you were to shine a white light through a colored filter. You shine a white light through a colored filter, everything that it illumines is red or blue. The light hasn't changed, but the filter makes it seem like light has changed. So when we thin the mind and introvert the attentive faculty and go looking for this personal sense of self, again, we cannot gain freedom if we think of the self as something out there, some abstraction. Who sees the AirPods?
I do.
That's yourself. You don't get another self. I just get rid of my weird ideas about it. What are my weird ideas? I am the body, or I'm the body plus the body's history. I was born here. I went to school there. I'm married to whom and such. I do this. I don't do that. Gives rise to the perceiver, feeler, thinker entity, which is Chitchaya. It's a shadow self. It's a false self. But I love the expression Chitchaya because what happens when you shine a light on a shadow? It disappears. If I shine a light on a real thing in the relative world, I turn the lamp on and I'm able to see the table. Oh, yes, there's the table over there. But if you shine a light on a shadow, what happens to it?
Disappears.
It disappears because there's nothing really there. Likewise, introvert the attentive faculty in the space between your thoughts. Who are you? See if you can find a person. See, there's nothing there. Now, this is something that maybe Aditi can help us with. I had a student Monday night, and I think she's a psychotherapist, but she was talking about people who have deep trauma in their childhood and disassociate. They leave their body. Have you ever worked with anybody with that condition?
Kind of, yeah.
So the question is, what leaves? She says, well, the spirit leaves the body. And I said, well, what do you mean by spirit? And she was saying, well, isn't it the Atman that leaves the body? No, it's the subtle body that leaves the physical body. Now, this happens all the time. We run around in the subtle body in the dream state. In meditation, it is conscious disassociation, not out of fear or trauma. I forget the body, I forget the prana, I forget the manas, I forget the buddhi. This is uh, the vayu of udana, one of the panchavayu, the five subtle airs. So in her particular paradigm, she works on getting people back into their body, being aware of sensation, being aware of grounding and stuff like that. That's certainly a value. You don't want to be disassociating out of fear or trauma. That's not freedom. But the self goes nowhere. And the example I use in class, if I have a paper cup and it's filled with tea with a tea bag in it, and here's another empty paper cup. If I get a hole in this paper cup, I can pour the tea in the tea bag into the other cup. Crush this. Space doesn't change. Once I've crushed the cup, what's happened to the space, the cup space? Oh, it merged with the room space. No, it didn't do anything. It went nowhere. The cup was in space. It's only a matter of words to say there's space in the cup. So the tea is like the subtle body. The tea bag is like my vasanas. So if I'm really frugal, some people would call me cheap. Take the tea bag out, dry it out, use it again. That's like sleep. You take the tea bag out, it's in its unwetted state, deep sleep. That's the tea bag. Put it back in the water. More tea. The causal body, the vasana bundle. But neither the cup, nor the tea, nor the tea bag is the space in the cup. You are Chid Akasha, the space of pure awareness. It feels like I'm in the body. Of course, that's my experience. But what about an out of the body experience? Is it the Atman that gets out of the body? No. If there's a near-death experience and you're out of the body looking down at your physical body, it's the subtle body that has left. But you go nowhere. Any thoughts on this? Going on.
The knower comes and goes with the known and is transient, but that which knows that it does not know, which is free of memory and anticipation, is timeless. Questioner, is I am itself the witness, or are they separate? Maharaj, without one, the other cannot be, yet they are not one. It is like the flower and its color. Without the flowers, no colors. Without color, the flower remains unseen. Beyond is the light, which on contact with the flower creates the color. Realize that your true nature is that of pure light only, and that both the perceived and the perceiver come and go together.
And we have an experience of that every night. Because in deep sleep, the individual knower and the world she perceives is all wrapped up. What do I know about deep sleep? Even in deep sleep, I cannot have the thought. I do not know. I can only have that thought in the morning when the individual perceiver returns. Oh, I must have slept soundly. I don't remember a thing. But what deep sleep proves to us is the individual knower and the world she perceives are transient. They're not permanent. But you are permanent, and I can prove it to you. If you had deep sleep last night, who knew it? Going on.
That which makes both possible and yet is neither is your real being, which means not being a this or that, but pure awareness of being and not being. When awareness is turned on itself, the feeling is of not knowing. When it is turned outward, the knowables come into being. To say I know myself is a contradiction in terms, for what is known cannot be myself.
So I like to use the word agnosia as opposed to ignorance. It's not about not knowing, but rather unknowing. Stop. And in second chapter of Gita, Krishna says it with such beautiful poetry. He who knows it not. That's the person who I read all the Upanishads, and I can quote Bhagavad Gita chapters backwards. She who knows it not knows it. Going on.
Questioner. If the self is forever the unknown, what then is realized in self-realization?
Oh, great question.
Maharaj, to know that the known cannot be me nor mine is liberation enough. Freedom from self-identification with a set of memories and habits. The state of wonder at the infinite reaches of being and its inexhaustible creativity and total transcendence. The absolute fearlessness born from the realization of the illusoriness and transiency of every mode of consciousness. These flow from a deep and inexhaustible source.
So, as I like to say, this is the language used in Yoga Vasishta. Both bondage and liberation occur to the mind. The self is ever free. The self does not get realized. What is bondage? There is no other bondage than the deeply rooted conviction I'm bound, meaning I think I'm my body, whose cause is spiritual ignorance. Is the self ignorant? No, it's my mind. There is no other liberation than the deeply rooted conviction based on direct experience. Not that I'm a realized person, but I am Brahman. And in the language that Maharaj is using, I cannot think a real thought. No personal sense of self is real. How is it that the self is both unknowable and knowable? It's unknowable as a thing, as an object. All we can say is it's not this, it's not this. But it is not unknown. How do you know you are you? The clearest example I've ever found is seeing. No person has ever seen their eyes. Well, I go in the mirror and I see my eyes. No, you see a reflection. Well, I'm going to take my eyes out of my head and look at them. No, it won't work that way. Well, I've never seen my eyes, so I must be blind. That's nonsense. Even though you've never seen your eyes, you know you see. Even if you lived in a culture without mirrors, you would not doubt that you see. Going on.
To know the source as source, appearance as appearance, and oneself as the source only is self-realization. Questioner. On what side is the witness? Is it real or unreal? Maharaj. Nobody can say I am the witness. The I am is always witnessed. The state of detached awareness is the witness consciousness, the mirror mind. It rises and sets with its object, and thus it is not quite real. Whatever its object, it remains the same. Hence, it is also real. It partakes of both the real and the unreal, and is therefore a bridge between the two.
So the self is the substratum of the ego cells. Another example I like to use is if you make a tube, close one eye, make a tube and peep through it. Your vision is limited. You have no peripheral vision. Your eyeball hasn't changed at all, but what you see is limited. This is awareness peeping through the subtle intellect, which is nothing but the movement of thought. Remove the tube. Nothing has changed in your eyeball. But your vision has expanded. No, it hasn't changed at all. You're just not looking through a tube. All of these are map, not territory. They point, they do not define. Words can only indicate. Getting caught up in words can be a barrier. Better to stay with your direct experience. In a mind full of sattva, chitta shuddhi, a pure mind. A pure mind does not mean you have goody-goody thoughts as opposed to vengeful and vicious thoughts. It means the reduction of the frequency and the volume of thought in the mind. And if you can quiet the mind to a point where you can see a thought arise out of silence, exist for a moment, and then return to silence, in that stillness, in that silence, notice the knower. Fundamentally different than the feeling I'm Jim, I'm this body, I'm too fat. Yet not different. Going on.
Questioner. If all happens only to the I am, if the I am is the known and the knower and the knowledge itself, what does the witness do? Of what use is it? Maharaj. It does nothing and is of no use whatsoever. Questioner. Then why do we talk of it? Maharaj. Because it is there. The bridge serves one purpose only, to cross over. You don't build houses on a bridge. The I am looks at things, but the witness sees through them. It sees them as they are, unreal and transient. To say, not me, not mine, is the task of the witness. Questioner, is the manifested saguna by which the unmanifested Questioner, is it the manifested saguna by which the unmanifested nirguna is represented? Maharaj, the unmanifested is not represented. Nothing manifested can represent the unmanifested. Questioner, then why do you talk of it?
And again, the point here is every language we have about the self falls short. If we go to mantra 7 in the Mandukya Upanishad, the Rishi uses the language of negation for all the descriptions. It's not this, it's not that, it's not this. But he does say Avyapadesha. Upadesha means to describe or to talk about something or to teach. Upadesha means you can't talk about it. It's beyond speech. It's beyond conception. It's usually translated as indescribable. But it's untalkaboutable. Shut up and get out, as Swamiji used to say. Ever watching the body, mind, intellect, all the objects, emotions, and thoughts, and do not believe that the perceiver, feeler, thinker entity is real. Meaning, I go here, I go there, I do this, I do not do that, I think this, I feel that, I remember such and such. There's no real person doing all that. You are Uttama Purusha, the supreme essence of personness. You are a conscious, sentient being. You are without any gunas, any mind states. You are nirmala, without any taint or dirt. You are achalam. You never move. You are acharam. You don't move about anywhere. Sat, you exist. Ara, you have being. Chit, you are sentience itself. You are aware. Ananda, bliss absolute. No sorrow touches you. don't believe me. Look. Going on.
Questioner. Actually, I'll back up. Maharaj. The manifested is not represented. Sorry, the unmanifested is not represented. Nothing manifested can represent the unmanifested. Questioner. Then why do you talk of it? Maharaj. Because it is my birthplace. That's the end of the chapter.
Going on.
79. The person, the witness, and the supreme. Awareness with an object we call witnessing. When there is also self-identification with the object caused by desire or fear, such a state is called a person. In reality, there is only one state. When distorted by self-identification, it is called a person. When colored with the sense of being, it is the witness. When colorless and limitless, it is called the supreme.
So what he's indicating here is I-ing. Language falls short. Ising is a stable, constant, changeless condition. In the mind, when I confuse it with various dimensions of the knowable, it seems to change, but it doesn't. Going on.
Questioner. We have a long history of drug taking behind us, mostly drugs of the consciousness expanding variety. They gave us the experience of other states of consciousness, high and low, and also the conviction that drugs are unreliable and at best transitory, and at worst destructive of the organism and personality. We are in search of a better means for developing consciousness and transcendence. We want the fruits of our search to stay with us and enrich our lives instead of turning to pale memories and helpless regrets.
Oh, it's fascinating. Of course, it was a big deal, all this stuff in the 60s, which is probably when this was written. But it's certainly become current now. Young people are still trying to find God in a pill. Ayahuasca, ecstasy, MDMA. Going on.
If by spiritual you mean self-investigation and development, our purpose in coming to India is definitely spiritual. The happy hippie stage is behind us. We are serious now and on the move. We know there is reality to be found, but we do not know how to find and hold on to it. We need no convincing, only guidance. Can you help us? Maharaj, you need not help, only advice. What you seek is already in you. Take my own case. I did nothing for my realization. My teacher told me that reality is within me. I looked within and found it there, exactly as my teacher told me. To see reality is as simple as to see one's face in the mirror. Only the mirror must be clear and true. A quiet mind, undistorted by desires and fears, free from ideas and opinions, Clear on all levels is needed to reflect reality. Be clear and quiet, alert and detached. All else will happen by itself.
So let's pause there. This idea of a clear mirror standing is a very ancient image. And in old-timey days, a mirror was polished metal, polished silver frequently, not silver glass. So metal can become corroded or tarnished. I don't know if any cars have chrome bumpers anymore, do they?
I don't think so.
You may not be old enough to remember chrome bumpers. Howard, I know is. Don't you?
Yes.
You ever seen an old timey car with chrome bumpers?
Not that I know of, no.
But what would happen is if your car was an older one, the chrome would become uh, corroded and it wouldn't reflect. You see a brand new 1950s Cadillac, and it had that big shiny bullet kind of chrome. You could see all the reflections in it. But then it would get foggy looking over years. So you had to polish it to keep it shiny and reflecting. So when the mind is corroded by thoughts of I-ness and minus, fear, apprehension, anxiety, aversion, craving, the reflection I see in the mind, I attribute the qualities of the reflecting surface. Now, modern day, if you go into a fancy restaurant and you go into the bathroom, the mirror is slightly tinted. There's indirect lighting all around. You look at your face in the mirror. I'm not doing too bad. I look pretty good tonight. Or you can go to Target or Ross and you're trying on a pair of pants and you go into the changing room and there are neon lights above and a cheap mirror. Ever been in a bargain department store? And you look at your face and you go, oh God, look at all those lines and I got pimples. And what happened? See, it's the reflecting surface. So also when the mind is corroded by tamas and rajas, I cannot see who I am. But when the mind is purely sattvic, and I notice, who am I? And I clearly see there's nothing there. Now, once I see that that's my real nature, when the thoughting returns, I don't disappear. Just like I go into the bathroom and I look at my face in the mirror, yep, it's what I look like now. When I leave the bathroom, my face doesn't fall off. I don't need to constantly be carrying a mirror to keep my face in place. If for some strange reason I forget what I look like, pull out a hand mirror, yep, that's what I look like. Hadn't changed. That's all meditation is. You pull out the mirror. Yep. That's still what I look like, nobody there. Because I had this strange idea. When I walk around, my face turns into a giraffe or a gorilla. No, I made it all up. Going on.
Questioner. You had to make your mind clear and quiet before you could realize the truth. How did you do it? Maharaj. I did nothing. It just happened. I lived my life attending to my family's needs. Nor did my guru do it. It just happened as he said it would. Questioner. Things do not just happen. There must be a cause for everything. Maharaj. All that happens is the cause of all that happens. Causes are numberless. The idea of a sole cause is an illusion. Questioner. You must have been doing something specific, some meditation or yoga. How can you say that realization will happen on its own? Maharaj. Nothing specific. I just lived my life. Questioner. I am amazed. Maharaj. So was I. But what was there to be amazed at? My teacher's words came true. So what? He knew me better than I knew myself. That is all. Why search for causes? In the very beginning, I was giving some attention and time to the sense I am, but only in the beginning. Soon after my guru died, I lived on. His words proved to be true. That is all. It is all one process. You tend to separate things in time and then look for causes.
So let me stop there. Self-realization is the swadharma of a human being. And that has two meanings. First, as Meher Baba used to say, everybody's already realized, meaning how do you know that you are you? The self itself knows the self. And the great cosmic jokes, everybody already has it. But the other meaning of that notion, the swadharma of a human being is self-realization. It is like a river moving through time and space. Every soul is coming home to God. No one is left out. Nobody failed. In the end, there's really no such thing as a fallen yogi. Now, Maharaj, his realization happened with little purushartha, self-effort. He was right. Others of us may spend several lifetimes in ashrams with Mahatmas. I like to say, which is more beautiful, the first rose of summer or the last? And you cannot take a rose bud and start pulling at the petals. All you do is damage it. This is the great problem of people who try to force things through powerful drugs and things like that. Have faith. You are Brahman. The world never touches you. Believe me. If you doubt me, believe Shruti. If you're a Hindu, we know the scriptures are true. You don't believe Shruti and you don't believe Jim, believe Maharaj. or any of the great saints. They all say the same thing. Going on.
Questioner, what is your work now? What are you doing? Maharaj, you imagine being and doing as identical. It is not so. The mind and the body move and change and cause other minds and bodies to move and change, and that is called doing or action. I see that it is in the nature of action to create further action, like a fire that continues by burning. I neither act nor cause others to act. I am timelessly aware of what is going on.
So in Gita, Krishna uses language, what is actionlessness in the midst of action, and what is action in the midst of actionlessness. The body, mind, intellect does the acting. Even sitting still is an action. All actions of the equipment, the bodies, is constantly changing. I'm going to go on a 30-day meditation retreat. I promise you, you will continue to go to the bathroom and eat and sleep. That's the nature of the body. The dharma of the body is karma. It acts. But you go nowhere. You do nothing. You are ever the watcher of the phenomenal world, including your own body, mind, and intellect. And the jnani sees that the actions of their body, mind, intellect are part of the Mahamudra, the great energetic gesture of the infinite. It's all connected with an infinite number and layers of causation. Why are you sitting in my living room? Because of the Big Bang. I'm not being funny. That's where it all started. And then science has no answer, but yoga does. Well, what was there before the Big Bang? What caused the Big Bang? A big crunch. And what caused that? Yes. Going on.
Questioner, or Maharaj, I neither act nor cause others to act. I am timelessly aware of what is going on. Questioner, in your mind or also in other minds? Maharaj, there is only one mind which swarms with ideas. I am this, I am that, this is mine, that is mine. I am not the mind, never was, nor shall be. Questioner, how did the mind come into being? Maharaj, the world consists of matter, energy, and intelligence. They manifest themselves in many ways. Desire and imagination create the world, and intelligent reconciles the two and causes a sense of harmony and peace. To me, it all happens. I am aware, yet unaffected. Questioner, you cannot be aware yet unaffected. There is a contradiction in terms. Perception is change. Once you have experienced a sensation, memory will not allow you to return to the former state. Maharaj, yes, what is added to memory cannot be erased easily, but it can surely be done, and in fact, I am doing it all the time. Like a bird on the wing, I leave no footprints. Questioner, has the witness name and form, or is it beyond these? Maharaj, the witness is merely a point in awareness. It has no name and form. It is like the reflection of the sun in a drop of dew. The drop of dew has name and form, but the little point of light is caused by the sun. The clearness and smoothness of the drop is a necessary condition, but not sufficient by itself. Similarly, clarity and silence of the mind are necessary for the reflection of reality to appear in the mind, but by themselves they are not sufficient. There must be reality beyond it. Because reality is timelessly present, the stress is on the necessary conditions. Questioner, can it happen that the mind is clear and quiet, and yet no reflection appears? Maharaj, there is destiny to consider. The unconscious is in the grip of destiny. It is destiny, in fact. One may have to wait, but however heavy may be the hand of destiny, it can be lifted by patience and self-control. Integrity and purity remove the obstacles, and the vision of reality appears in the mind.
Yes, let me pause here. Shankara says, success in spiritual endeavors is entirely due to the degree of the qualifications of the fit student. Other factors, such as time and place, while important, are essentially secondary. It is not dependent on the guru. It is not dependent on being retired. It is not dependent on being able to see or walk or anything like that. It is not dependent on going to India. Success in spiritual endeavors is entirely dependent on the degree of the qualifications of the fit student. What are they? First, discrimination. The firm conviction in the intellect that Brahman alone is real, and the phenomenal world, the Jagat, is mithya, unreal, illusory, is known as discrimination between the real and the unreal. Vairagya, that desire to give up attachment to all experiences gained through the senses. Again, it's not about running away from the experiences. We can't. It's giving up attachment and renouncing any person sense of self, starting from the body up to including the form of Brahma, the creator, meaning I think I'm important. Shamadhi guna, qualities of shama, etc. Shama, that peaceful state of mind when it rests in steady contemplation of the goal, after having again and again detached itself from the chaos of the sense objects through steady contemplation of their defects. Only way to be able to maintain Shama is to see how my craving, my aversion for the world is my suffering. Ego says, I'm unhappy because the world's not behaving. Yoga says, I'm disturbed because I have a klesha. Dhamma, keeping the sense organs residing in their sense centers, not letting memory of past likes and dislikes push the mind down. These culminate in uparati, sense withdrawal. Like the turtle or the tortoise, 4 legs and a head, those correspond to our 5 senses, being able to keep everything withdrawn. And then Shankara says the best uparati is when I'm functioning in the world. I keep the sense organs residing in their sense centers. What Swamiji used to call keeping the mind tuned up, intensely intricate. Titiksha, forbearance, being able to endure the vicissitudes of life without the need for redress or revenge. Titiksha becomes possible through a deep understanding of karma. I don't get what I want. I don't get what I deserve, what I need. I get the inevitable results of the force of my past. Shraddha, faith. The world keeps telling me this is all bullpucky. Getting what you want is what's going to make you happy. And Yoga says, the scriptures say, and finally, samadhana, a peaceful state of mind, which is not achieved by any amount of oscillation of the mind. Is it this? Is it that? Is it this? Is it that? Having a mind like a sieve, everything is past. And the fourth one, moksha, the burning desire for liberation. And after these 4 qualifications, Shankara says, others say that bhakti alone is supreme. Love God with all your heart and soul and mind and strength. Opening and warming the heart. But if you don't have an emotional temperament, Shankara says, devotion can also be a constant attempt to live up to my true nature. You could be devoted to an ideal, which is different than going to kirtan and chanting the name of the Lord. If we're having trouble in our sadhana, go back to the qualifications of a fit student and do a tune-up, Swamiji used to say. Just like if I'm driving my car, the cars still have spark plugs Yes, no?
I think so.
So if your car is not tuned up, the spark and the movement of the cylinder aren't in alignment. So it misfires. You lose power. You hear a backfire. So you take it to the garage for the mechanic to tune up the engine. So we, on a regular basis, should review qualifications of the fixed tool. Brilliant, brilliant teaching, Shankar. Any thoughts on this? All right, going on.
Questioner. How does one gain self-control? I am so weak-minded. Maharaj. Understand first that you are not the person you believe yourself to be. What you think yourself to be is mere suggestion or imagination. You have no parents, you were not born, nor will you die. Either trust me when I tell you so, or arrive at it by study and investigation.
So this is his way in clear modern English, Viveka. Going on.
Um, the way of total faith is quick. The other is slow but steady. Both must be tested in action. Act on what you think is true. This is the way to truth. Questioner. Are deserving the truth and destiny one and the same?
Let's back up to his prior statement. So many spiritual traditions, yoga being one of them, basically say act your way into right thinking. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in prayer. Why should I do a stupid mantra? Doesn't matter. Start by saying the words. I don't feel generous. I don't want to serve other people. I don't give a damn. Do the action. I sit in meditation and nothing happens. I sat for 5 minutes yesterday. Nothing happened. Sit for 20 minutes every day. Do the action. Act your way into right thinking. Other people say, think your way into right action. The key is insight. Study, meditate, reflect. Your insight will then change your behavior. Yoga says, yes. Why? Because unlike in the West, where we have the Cartesian split between mind and body, I don't know why I've got so many people with whom I'm working who are doing psychotherapy. I think that's where the problem is. And they're saying, oh, I have fear in my body. It's in my body. And I keep trying to say, no, the body and the mind are not separate. The body is a grossified form of the mind. Yes, the fear is in your body, but it's also in your mind. Work on both. And act your way into right thinking. You can think your way into right action. Work on both. Any thoughts on this? All right, next one.
Questioner. Are deserving the truth and destiny one and the same? Maharaj. Yes, both are in the unconscious. Conscious merit is mere vanity. Consciousness is always of obstacles. When there are no obstacles, one goes beyond it. Questioner. Will the understanding that I am not the body give me the strength of character needed for self-control? Maharaj. When you know that you are neither body nor mind, you will not be swayed by them. You will follow truth wherever it takes you and do what needs to be done, whatever the price. Questioner. Is action essential for self-realization? Maharaj. For realization, understanding is essential. Action is only incidental. A man of steady understanding will not refrain from action. Action is the test of truth.
Yes.
Questioner.
So you can have values in your mind. Oh, I believe in ahimsa, nonviolence. And then someone makes you angry. Where's your ahimsa go? Oops. Action is the test of your commitment. Going on.
Questioner. Are tests needed? Maharaj. If you do not test yourself all the time, you will not be able to distinguish between reality and fancy. Observation and close reasoning help to some extent, but reality is paradoxical. How do you know that you have realized unless you watch your thoughts and feelings, words and actions, and wonder at the changes occurring in you without your knowing why and how?
So I'm going to push back a little bit on Maharaj. In truth, life itself is always testing us. Every moment is an opportunity for viveka and vairagya. Don't worry. If I was unconscious and missed the opportunity, guess what life does? What?
It brings it back.
And you know my question that I asked that everybody hates, who got upset this week? Tell me this was the first time of this particular condition. The names and faces may change, but the condition, once again, the Lord in his compassion. Oh, Jim, you missed it this time. I love you, so we'll bring it by again on Friday. Another opportunity. For what? Viveka Vairagya. Until when the circumstance arises, let go and keep your heart open. It's all we ever have to do. Okay, we'll end there. What verse are we on for next week?
We're at the bottom of 348.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Shishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.